So that's a lot, folks. It is all over in Spain, and Barcelona will remain champions once again after they completed their season. But what about me? What did I predict that would happen this season in La Liga? Well, you know what? Let's go back in time and take a little look. That's right, folks, back once again with another reaction video, this time looking back at my original 2018-2019 La Liga predictions, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things La Liga related, Blackburn Rovers related, world football related. We're going to all hear under one roof skis. Now, that is right. After the conclusion of La Liga, it is all done and dusted. Some teams are celebrating with some European action next season, but others are looking at their bank balance, their financial situation, as they are down to the Segundo Division, or La Liga, whatever they call it, the second division over in Spain. So what's going to happen here now? Originally, I did make some predictions back in July. If you want to check out the original video for that, there is a link down in that sucker in the description down below so that you know that I'm not doing any shady business and kind of fluffing my numbers here a little bit. But we are going to do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop up a graphic on the screen in just a second, and then we're going to compare at the final result against my predictions that I made back in July, and hopefully we'll manage to see how many I got right and how many I got wrong, folks. So without further ado, here comes that said graphic right about now. Hopefully it's over here. It could be over here, but I think it's going to be over here. But anyway, so here we go, and let's take a look at who I thought would be bottom of the pops. Well, for me, it was Leganés. That's right. They actually finished much better off. In fact, they finished in 7 places better off, 13th at the table. In the real world, that's on the right-hand side, is Vallecano. So they're finished bottom of the pops, which is actually quite surprising because the next team in 19th spot, Huesca, they were bottom of the table for a long time. So in my prediction back in July, I predicted Levante would finish in 19th spot. And again, they finished 4th places better off, up into 15th, I would say. So into 18th spot, did I get any of the relegation teams correct? Well, yes. I got Huesca. I did actually predict them to finish in 18th spot, but in the real world, it was Girona who finished in 18th spot. So not too shabby. So what? 1 place worse off in the real world. So 1 out of 3 is not particularly great. But it's not particularly good either. It's not particularly that bad either. And what I can say is that I found predicting La Liga football this season quite up and down. Some of them, you know, there are some bankers in there, but even the bankers weren't guaranteed. So I did see Barcelona lose a few times when I didn't think they would. And Real Madrid, don't get me started on Real Madrid. What a nightmare season they had. But anyway, let's kick it on further into 17th spot. And I had Alavés. What an amazing season Alavés had. They finished 6 places better off. They were knocking on the door for the Champions League for a good old portion of the season, but they kind of tailed off a little bit. It looks like, according to my calculation, they finished in 11th. Celta Vigo actually finished in 17th, and again, I actually had high hopes for Celta Vigo this season at the start of it anyway. So into 16th spot we go, Getafe, and again, just like Alavés, a tremendous season by Getafe. I think they just missed out again on Champions League football, going to the wire on the last day of the season. I think it was either Valencia or Sevilla. We'll have a look at it. I think Valencia pipped them to that last Champions League spot. So Getafe surviving. I did think they would survive, but I didn't think they'd have an amazing season such as this. So credit to them, and yeah, they'll be looking forward to European football next season. Might not be on what they were expecting going into the final game, but anyway, into 15th spot I had Girona. Now we've already seen them. They relegated, boys and girls, into the second tier of Spanish football. So I had them in 15th. So I didn't predict them to have a good season, but they actually had a worse season. And in the real world, there are Levante, who I actually predicted to go down. So when you look at that bottom, 6 teams? I've got 1 of them. I've got 2 of them. 3 of them. I got 3 out of the 6 that finished in those bottom 6 spots. So yeah, not particularly great really. So it's like 50%. So we'll go with that. Into 14th spot, Vallecano. There they are. They actually finished bottom of the pops. I expect them to finish in 14th spot. So yeah, I thought they would have an okay season, but ultimately pretty piss poor. Into 13th spot we have Eibar. They actually finished 1 place better off into 12th. And in the real world it was Leganés, and I had Leganés finishing bottom of the pile. So there you go. It just shows how good a season Leganés had. As for Eibar, not too bad. They were never really in the mix for anything better than a 12th place finish in the league. They weren't floating at the top. They weren't really floating at the bottom. So, you know, a strong, good season. I'm sure they'll be happy with that. But into the 12th spot we go. There is confirmation that Eibar did finish in 12th. My prediction, I actually had Valladolid, and they actually finished in 16th spot. So 4 places worse off than my prediction. Is that correct? Yeah, that's correct. So, into the number 11, we'll move on quickly. I had Athletic Bilbao to finish in 11th spot. They actually finished 3 places better off into 8th. In the real world, it was Alavés who again had that amazing season. They were up there for maybe 2/3 of the season, 3/4 of the season, flirting with top 4, top 5. Then it all kind of fell south for them. There was a lot of yo-yo teams this season. Alavés, Espanyol, Getafe to a point. And Bilbao actually ended the season very strongly, so credit for them. So I actually had them in mid-table, so no real worries for them, but obviously finishing much better than I anticipated. Into the top 10 we go, and I got this one bang on the nose, boys. Real Betis, that's right. No questions there, no problems of going down, no problems of really competing for the top 4. Right smack dab in them, but they did have some little flirtations with European football, but ultimately 10th spot, right smack dab in the middle of the table. So I got that one. I'm happy with that. I'm happy. That's my first correct spot. So as we look at it, obviously there are 9 teams above us, so we just go over half now. So 9 out of the bottom 11 I have. The only 2 exceptions to that rule are Bilbao and Getafe. Yeah, Bilbao and Getafe are the only 2 that I didn't predict to finish in the bottom section of the table. So that's not too shabby when you look at it. It's obviously, as I said, it's been very difficult to predict the La Liga this season. But it is quite easy to predict, no offence, to predict the Power 3. Obviously, it's just trying to get them in the right order. And then the European cluster, there are sort of usual suspects that would usually be there. So anyway, into number 9 spot we go, and it is Espanyol. Yes, another yo-yo team up and down the table. Again, flirted with the European spots for a good part of the season. They also flirted towards the bottom end, and they struggled a little bit. But ended up ultimately in 7th spot. So 2 places better off than my prediction. In the real world, Real Sociedad finished in 9th. So not too shabby for them. Into 8th spot we go, and there is a Real Sociedad. They were my call in 8th spot. Obviously, they finished 1 place worse off in 9. And in the real world, Athletic Bilbao, there's confirmation of their finish in 8th spot. Into the Power 7 now. And I have Villarreal. That's right. They were in European competition in the real world, but they actually finished 7 places worse off, all the way down into 14th spot in the real world. It was Espanyol who finished 7th, so not too shabby. And Villarreal, yeah, they were looking terrible at some stage, but they got their act together and they ended up in mid-table. So not a bad season for them, but realistically, I had better hopes for them. Into 6th spot, I had Celta Vigo, and that's right, they just flirted with the drop as well on the last day of the season, just pipping or just ousting Girona, who did go down. So I had Celta Vigo to finish as high as 6th. So yeah. The less said about that, the better. So in the real world, it was Sevilla who did finish in a 6th spot. And where did I predict them to finish? I actually had them in 1 place better in 5th spot. So Sevilla finished in 6th. In the real world, it was Getafe who had that tremendous season that will live long in their memories, but they're just unlucky as they just missed out on some Champions League football, boys. And I had Valencia in 4th spot, and guess what, folks? They predicted they got right smack dab in 4th spot, so a good one there for me. So 2 out of 20. I got spot on, but yeah. Valencia, again, they did start season very, very woeful. In fact, I was worried that they were actually could get sucked into a relegation battle. But they got their act together and they started to click it into gear. Obviously, they had Champions League football to deal with last season, and they're going to have Champions League football to look forward to next season. So, yeah, good end to the season for Valencia, pipping Getafe in the process. Into 3rd spot, bit of a surprise here, was Real Madrid. Now, see, they lost Ronaldo at the start of the season, they lost Zinedine Zidane at the start of the season, or the end of last season. So it was all change at Real Madrid. So I expected them to have a bit of a season of difficulty. I didn't expect them to finish in 3rd spot, though. And to be honest with you, they could have finished in much worse a spot than this, because realistically, their season has been probably one of the worst I've seen over the past 15 years. It's just been so many matters behind the scenes. It does nothing. Since Ronaldo left, a big catalyst in their team. And now there's uncertainties about Gareth Bale. They need to sort their summer out. Zidane's back. Maybe they can kind of get ourselves back into a bit of rhythm next season, compete once again for second spot. So I had Real Madrid into third. Sorry, into second. Here it is. But they finished in third in the real world, and Atletico Madrid did finish in second. I had them in third, and also all change at Atletico Madrid next season. No Griezmann, no Godin. There might be another couple of big time players leaving Atletico Madrid, so it could be another interesting season. What's going to happen to Simone, the manager? Will he stick around? I don't know. But obviously, number one was Barcelona. It was a no-brainer. They didn't really do much change. Obviously, Neymar left. I don't know how long has he left. How long has he been away now? But anyway, they had Messi still. They had Suarez still. They still had the main players, main manager. No real major changing of focus, so it was a no-brainer to pick Barcelona, and they held their own. They did have some rocky periods over the course of the season, but ultimately they came out on top, and that, my friends, is where I'm going to leave you, well, mostly anyway. Hopefully we'll do something like this next season, but that is completely up to you. I want to know what you think, if I should keep on predicting the old La Liga season. I am trying to improve the channel furthermore into the new season, and that means kind of rejigging my time a little bit, and some of these leagues, they're obviously out of my depth a little bit. I did enjoy doing the German league, the Spanish league, and the Italian league. But I want to know if you think I should continue. Obviously, they do take up my time. The kickoff times are a little bit weird. And I'd like to record all these in a good old cluster, if you know what I mean. But I just want to know what you think, if I should continue doing that or not. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the thumbs up. And if you're new, smash the subscribe. Check out the old description. Links to my other social media platforms on there. Twitter and Facebook if you want to catch up with me on the fly. Or maybe just have a little chit-chat about anything football related. That's the place to be. And you can also check out my Patreon page, boys and girls. Hotly released. I am open to Patreons if you want to join the VIP exclusive gang. You know, there's a couple of patrons with us already, so maybe you want to join them bad boys. But anyway, yeah, put your own thoughts and opinions in the old comment section down below. What you think about the season just gone by? What's going to happen next season? Will it be all change? Will Gareth Bale still be around? What about Neymar? There's rumours of Neymar wanting to leave. There's rumours that Mbappe wanting to leave PSG, and they might be coming to Real Madrid. What about Eden Hazard? All these big names are linked with returning or going to Spanish football. So I want to hear your thoughts and opinions about that, and also about what you want to do. If I want to continue to do these bad boys for you, or you think it might be my time better suited elsewhere to try and beef up the channel. But anyway, give me your thoughts and opinions. Until then, I'll let you get out of here. Thumbs up, subscribe. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.